learning something new is difficult. So I've always been like someone that's like very antisocial in a way. Like time is scarce. Like every can learn and learn and learn a new thing. My brain is like being introduced to a new thing. I don't even expect my brain to comprehend it instantly. Right? It's not possible. It's like also like just start. I start with something.
Hi everyone, my name is Oluwaleke Fakorede. Popularly known as Hashcode. I'm a VP of Engineering at Insomnia Labs and also the co-founder and CTO of GoWagr. It's nice to be here. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. So before going to the question and answer section, I just want to play a little game with you.
For sure.
So you're going to we want to know like two truths and a lie about you. You can tell
Mm-hmm.
us anything about your life,
Two
tech,
truths and a lie.
yes, so anything. And we're going to guess, and the viewers they are going to guess maybe in the comment section and see if we
Mm-hmm.
can get it.
Mm. I would say, interesting. Okay, so one. I met Mark Zuckerberg when he came to Nigeria. When he came to CEO of Nigeria. Second, mm, I've driven a Lamborghini before. Third, I have a startup.
Okay, so one, he met Mark, the founder of Facebook. Two, he has driven a Lambo before, and three, he has a startup. So, which do you think? Okay, so I want to know about your tech journey, how you started, and
Mm-hmm.
from the beginning to this point, or maybe if you have future plans, or just like from the beginning, how you started, and
That's a very long story, but happy to share. Yeah, very long story. So I'd say my tech journey started, and there are like different milestones, like different times it started and stopped, right? I think the most, let's say the earliest one was like when I was in secondary school. I think I think senior secondary school, sort of
secondary school?
secondary
Like
school.
you heard about tech in
No, so the thing about it, like tech was not like tech that it
secondary?
is right now. It was like programming and everything. So when I was in secondary school, we did this course. I don't know, a lot of people might have done it, especially in Nigeria, right? Q Basic in the programming language
I
in
think so.
computer science. So, I mean, maybe I feel old. It was like a long time ago. So Q Basic was like a very old language, very old, very basic programming language from the name, basic. So yeah, back then, I used to like be the one to do like write the code for everybody in school, like in secondary school. I think it was JS3 actually. So for practicals, my school had like a computer laboratory, very good computers there and things like that. So I was writing code there. I was easy for me to understand, like because I was reading books on QBasic at that point, but I was the one, a few other students as well back then, like writing the code, like helping others to understand the code, and also doing like assignments and exercises for them as well. So yeah, there's that. So that's where it kind of picked up from, and from there, just dabbled into some HTML and CSS.
The Q basic is it like similar to like what language do you say similar to your
What language is similar to now? I don't know. There's no language is similar to right now, like more modern languages. And then, so did HTML and CSS. I remember like designing it's very simple. So just HTML, like you have the HTML tag, the head tag, and the body tag, and then you could make text move around from one part of the monitor to another. I've forgotten the name of the tag. I think it's Marquee or something. One tag like that you could use to move and change color with CSS, change the color of the text. It was so amusing that time. Like you see website. And one thing I helped with, we had like all these big monitors, big computers, big CPU at home as well, connected to like internet using ONET. I don't know if you know ONET. You remember
we
ONET?
use it like in cyber cafes then.
Yeah, exactly. So we had that at home back then. It was a really good background for me. It was very good. That time I remember like very bad internet, like 110 kbps or something like that. But I was able to do something with it regardless. So yeah, then I think when I got to SS1, SS2, I saw a book on Python, but the popular modern programming language, Ed First Python, if I remember. So I was reading that book, but I was so confused. I was writing Python code. I was writing like print hello world, But I was so confused that I dropped it and I did not touch it. Not doing this. I'm just faced my chemistry and my physics. So and my mathematics. So but I'll say another that was like the end of that, right? And that kickstart will now be like when I was in secondary school and then waiting to resume school, right? It was like 8 months after writing jam, passing jam, and after writing post CTME and things like that. You still have to wait.
Like that is
OAU, exactly. So again, admission that was like 8 months to resume school. So during that period, I was going to a training center to learn programming. It's like I heard that if you go there, they'll teach you programming, and then you'll give you a certificate for, and you pay money. It's not free. You pay money for it. So at that point, I was a teacher. I was teaching the school I graduated from. I was like not like I was assistant teacher basically. I was assisting the main teacher, and I was getting paid at that point. So I was just using the money I was getting paid from my teaching job to like learn programming at that point literally. So coincidentally I also met someone that was a student of OE already. Business science student back then, right? So studying the same course I studied at that time, computer science with mathematics, right? So he told me that okay, you should learn Fortran because you're going to do it in your part two. So I'm like,
okay.
so
Okay, I think they changed it.
yeah, they changed it. So it was Fortran, then it became Java, and it became Python. So yeah, it's evolution. So I feel it again, but but so I was like, oh Python, let me go and Fortran, let me go and learn Fortran. So luckily that same person was teaching Fortran as well. So I basically paid to learn Fortran. I learned variables. I learned functions. No, is it functions? I learned how to write if and else statement, all these things like that. Because like remember, like QBasic was very, very, very basic. But I was able to understand the programming things. I remember like learning about arrays. I was so confused about arrays. Like, what do you mean? Like, you can just put a set of things together and it's like one thing. I was so confused. So I think I progressed a bit slow in that learning Fortran. Right? Most people think like once you just learn programming language, you're like instantly smart and you know it. You know it. It's not like it's a new thing, it's an entirely new concept to your brain and to my brain. So I had to. I spent a lot of time trying to understand those things. I ended up understanding some things, but not everything. So actually, like I think the course was meant to be in two phases. I was only able to complete the first phase, so you need certificate for only the first phase, and then I think I had to resume school and something like that. So that ended there again, right? That ended there. Now another start would be like when I resumed school. So the person I met back then was like a senior
Senior colleague.
yeah, senior, not say colleague. I mean, yeah, at the point where I resumed, I was in part five already.
Oh wow.
So, so yeah, but so if you say a senior colleague,
Very
right?
your boss, something like that.
Yeah, senior colleague. His name is Blessing. Blessing Champion. So yeah, you kind of sent me a link at that point. So I was like, oh, there's this mentorship program going on. It's like a group of students, and they belong in a community called iLab. So it's like I should apply for it, right? And I was like, okay. But I applied to be mentored. It was like choose a programming language in the form. I chose Java, mobile app development, Java and everything. So kind of like was I think the organizer called me and asked me a few questions, and I was selected as part of the mentees for that. And this was back in 2016. I would think 2016, some years ago. So I resumed school like a few weeks in like my first semester. I already got assigned to a mentor in iLab. So iLab is like basically it doesn't exist anymore in OAU, but it was at White House in OAU, and it was like basically a group of students like doing like hardware and software, and like it was alongside IEEE. Um,
Nice.
so yeah, so for like the entirety of my first semester, I was learning Java. I was being trained by a mentor alongside some other students as well. So my mentor's name at that point was Excellence. That's his name. So really good. Taught me a lot of stuff. Like helped me understand a lot of things I was initially confused about. And also at that point, he gave me a book to read. Java how to program. I think that's the name. Java how to program. So I read that book almost back for cover to cover PDF. So it really helped me understand like object-oriented programming, not just like learning scripting, but actually understanding like fundamentals of like object-oriented programming, then Java itself. I was able to build some sample easy things to do, and then second semester, while learning Java to a point, moved to Android development, mobile Android development. So started doing like writing applications using Java, XML, and like building mobile applications like to do apps and things like that. So yeah, that was like my like so that's when like the serious tech journey started, and till now still doing it till now. It was very interesting, right? Because when I remember like when I like resumed school, like my bed in Angola, still in Angola, um F block, so F8 actually, room 8. So like the my wall, my bunk, I was staying on the lower bunk. The wall just at my address, I wrote 5.0 there, and I put like cross there. I was like, I have to like get 5.0 at least. But yeah, so I also like when I was a part one, I was like, come for secondary school, I was like a serious student. Like I graded well in my secondary school. I represented my school in competitions, nationally, like state and nationally, like when I was secondary school, right? So I already used to like working hard and like doing extra extracurricular activities when it comes to like learning. So I was already used to that kind of like mindset since like since my primary school. I was represented in my school back then. Shout out to Ivolo Academy, Ilesha. So yeah, so like I represented my school in like Olympiad, Nigerian Turkish competition, Cowbell before it became Cowbellpedia, and other competitions like that. So especially like science, informatics, and mathematics. So
It was easy for you to
yeah, it's relatively easy. Not easy, but it was like the mindset was there to like,
say, okay.
and also like at the end of the day, like part one, right, was part one was interesting, right, because it was MTH, physics, chemistry that you have to go wake up early in the morning, go to 1,000
Yeah.
sitters, things like that. So I did that for a while, but I was like, oh my, this thing is like just
Drain.
go to 1,000 sitters and then you can't even hear anything because it's like 1,000 students in one hall, right? Sometimes I had to like walk to and sit down at the front of the lecturer and just like taking notes. And then sometimes like yeah, so what I used to do back then was I'll go to classes, then in between the breaks in classes I'll go to White House. There are some lectures are not really used in White House like that. So I'll sit there, either read or like learn some things on coding. So that's what I was doing at that point. But also like at night. So what I did at night, I didn't have a social life in part one, right? So I mean, I had friends and I was like quite social. I was like going out with people, but I wasn't like going to the party or going to any club. So in the evening, night, I used to either go to Awukav to read with a friend. Shout out Tolu. So I used to go out to Tolu to Awukav to read. Or if I'm not reading, I'll go to iLab to learn how to code because I was also meeting with my mentor at that point, like 2 days in a week or 3 days in a week. So it was like school intersection, like anytime I'm free, yeah, doing more school work, reading and or coding, right, or learning how to code. So that's like major part one. Although like part second semester part one, it became more difficult because a lot of things got more abstract, especially like organic chemistry. Like I did not like organic chemistry at any point, which
But
is
I wanted to ask why you chose computer science and not medicine, but I think you've already answered it. You don't like chemistry.
yeah, no, 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 no. So like since I was a child. So the thing about like growing up is like growing up, everybody in myself and my siblings already knew what we wanted to do,
Okay.
right? But what I wanted to do actually was become an aeronautical engineer. Like at that point in time, there was
So
no,
I think they are just coming up self in
yeah, there was nothing like that back then. So I went another time I was like in secondary school. So I went to Yahoo Answers. So Yahoo had like a forum that time that you could ask people questions, and I was like, oh, I want to study. I actually asked like I want to study, but there's nowhere to study. So can I study computer science as the first degree, and then as a second degree or my masters and whatever, go and study. I got a lot of replies on that. And I was like, yeah, it's possible. Now, yeah, it's possible you can study computer science engineering and then you can go do aeronautical engineering. I was like, okay, that's what I would do. So that was the plan. I was like, science, and then computer science, and then afterwards, of course, I'm not an engineer right now. I'm not studying for it. I don't think I ever will, but who knows? And who knows? Maybe I'll work at SpaceX one day.
So that
Organic chemistry was especially like strange because I remember like going to secondary school and I didn't understand it at that point too.
means
They go to you and then
they will teach.
they did not teach you, so I was like, nah. So I tried my best to like do well in it. So, but anyways, like I still did not fail. I still did not fail, but so past that barely scraped through first semester. And the funny thing about like which is funny because I remember second semester or third semester ish. I don't like organic chemistry, but there was this competition that we used to do back then, IEEE again. So people at lab used to participate in it. It's called Extreme. It's like a coding competition, national coding competition, compete with people from other universities across the world. So funny enough, like I just saw like a LinkedIn post. They actually did that,
Recently.
yeah, over the weekend. But I don't think it was that publicized. I just saw a link that was like, oh, OAU and Unilag, I think they came first in Nigeria because your rank is like globally. So they rank Nigeria, you rank Africa, you rank global. So we're at that point, yeah. And the only question I solved was actually an organic chemistry problem. So it was like, so the question was, so the way extremists work is they give you like real world problems to solve, and then you have to use code to solve them. Like maybe like using some algorithms and things like that. And then you have to think around like they cross different subjects, maybe like physics, chemistry, mathematics, or like just logic and things like that. And the only question I was able to solve was they are very difficult questions. Like people barely solve. I was able to solve a question, and it was organic chemistry. Because I was like, it's the irony. Like I didn't even like organic chemistry, but that's by the way anyway. So I don't want to stay too much on part one because a lot of other things happened from there. But part two. So after part one, actually, the end of part one, we did after the mentorship program ended, we did like a capstone project, right? And like I submitted my project, did everything, and I like when so at the end of the time, at the end of the period of the mentorship, like every mentor had to like rate or grade their mentees over 10. I remember getting like 2/10 because like I mean, it makes sense. I was still learning. Not like I was good already. It was just
So
like
you were always like going and
no, not like it was not rating my performance as it was
just
like my skill level.
oh,
So what's the skill level in like in programming in mobile development at that point? So I was like, I didn't even take it anywhere. I was like, yeah, like it makes sense at that point. I was like, so best for you. So it's just been like, a lot of people just learn coding for like a year. I think they're like the next best thing, right? There are a lot of intricacies, and so that time I was like, 2/10, 2/10 is like, okay, cool. Like I know I need to do. I know I have to do a lot of things. Like I know, like at that point, I know what I was. What I did at
like
the
you said for
capstone project was
yourself.
just like a news app. I just showed you the news, an image, and then the news. So like other things to do. Like you use apps now, so you see
Yeah.
apps on your phone. Like I can't use this obviously, so obviously I'm nowhere near like the skill of this. So luckily in part two, Andela came up like really blew up, and then they had this first cohort of Andela learning community.
What do you say about like learning different things? Maybe I have an idea of mobile and then I'm having another idea of
Hmm?
AI and then I'm not doing back end and what do you like say to someone that is
I mean, it's interesting, right? I've seen people that did that and they didn't end up somewhere.
Right, but also good to experiment, right? To play around with things. Right, for me, I didn't play around with too many things. I was not going in depth. For example, originally I just used the AI bits to just do this thing. I know I was not dabbling into like machine learning or anything, or the data science itself. I was just like use this thing
for
for
the mobile?
and that was it. That's different from like just learning different things. For example, like when I was in part two, part three, I think part three, my friend and I, Khalid, we wanted to work on like a ticket platform. That's like one of my first startups I actually worked on together with Khalid. We wanted to like that time ticketing was not a thing really that much, right? We wanted to work on a ticket platform where people could buy tickets and you could as an event organizer you could like create tickets and who can pay. And the interesting thing for us was like people could pay with like USSD. So at that point, people could pay with USSD. Like you could even like buy tickets with USSD, not even like pay with USSD though. Dial star 123 hash or something like any number like that, 123 hash, and then you enter the event. You see the replies again with the ticket options. Then click on Because you want to jump out that one and then you pay from there too. So it's like a full university experience. Together with the back end, together with the front end of the website as well, you can buy the website as well. So that time I needed to obviously build a website. So I started learning. I picked up like from the development. And so for the admin side of things, I realized like okay, I needed like a template. But the template I said I was like very close to it. That's what I wanted to do was in Angular. So I let Angular to work on to just use it. Like that was until I built Angular.
So like you're learning within the space of a month, or you learn first and practice, or as you're learning this thing, you're just like
I'm using it immediately. So I was not like learning that I was going to read one book or something like that. I was reading like when watching tutorials. During my part two, I remember like our web project I worked on like I think a mobile app, and I also I think I need backend. Well, I was using Firebase before. I was like, I need to be able to write backend to handle some complicated stuff. So I learned like Node.js primarily. I also like learned Java Spring framework as well, but I didn't really use it that much. So it was like a need for me. It was like learning based on needs. So, but yeah, with other things, with like a lot of things that I worked on, probably on my resume somewhere, like on my LinkedIn for fun, or like okay, the problem. For example, that time kidnapping was rampant in Nigeria. So like it still is right. That time was like bad. Like so like how can we solve? Like how can I like at least think of a solution to combat kidnapping and things like that. So I thought about like okay, what if you have a mobile app on your phone that you installed? And then if you are traveling, you can share location with people, your family and friends, right? So I call it Finder at that point. So basically like as you travel, it's constantly sharing location with people, they can see where you are and as you are going, right? And if anything happens, SOS button. And that sense is SOS message to people that are tracking you, like okay, this is the last location, and this location if you're still tracking. If your phone was shipped to this last place, the phone was sent. We had like a map view, like the interesting things like I worked on that time. Like really like think it big.
The ticketing app. What did not tell us the name?
The e-ticket.
So I don't know if he heard it, but he said that was like it's one of his first startup. So he has answered all of the questions. So we already know the answer that he has a startup.
It's a different question.
And he said one of, so he has, I'm very sure he has few that we're still going to know.
Maybe. I'll go to that side.
So your journey from where did you face like any setback, or did you make any mistake, or something that like made you down, and you maybe did anything happen to like close your laptop and say I'm not doing it again, or you were just still pushing through?
Yeah, I do love things. I also part of this. It's life, yeah. So remember, like, I was talking about it earlier this morning with someone that, like, part one was interesting because part one, I got a new laptop. Like, my parents got me a laptop finally. So like, be serious with this. Like, okay, like the laptop I was using back then was like my dad's laptop. Was like hand me down basically. Yeah, like 2 gig RAM. EP620, very old, since like 2009 or 2010 or something like that. Very old laptop. So it was like, brother, your laptop not really good, right? And so, like within like the first 4 weeks of buying a laptop, they stole it. They stole it basically. So my room, when I go that time, my roommates, I've not forgotten any, but I won't mention any. It did not lock the door to the room, and I just left. So the person just carried my entire bag. My laptop, and like I think I had like 2 phones, one Infinix and one Techno phone, like very good phones as well. They didn't leave anything for me, I just took my bag. So that was like, oh my god. I was already doing well, but at that point I started Kali Linux, so learning about Linux, operating system. I adopted Linux, so I didn't start Android Studio, like very good. I didn't have like 80 grand, so it was like very good to run Android Studio. I'm sure you require like the RAM. So I was really, everything was going smoothly, and that happened. So that was like one crazy setback. I had to like go back to that old laptop again. That was like, it was
Wait, that laptop was in the room, like the old one?
No, the old one was not there.
He left that one and then...
I felt the person that was stolen it. But I had to go back to the old one. That old one was interesting because really bad laptop. It was like shocking you. That was shocking. And you like plug it in and it shock you, or it was like a desktop or something. Give me a desktop at some point because like the battery was.
You have to connect it to
the battery was weak. buy a new battery. 5 months to buy a new battery, still the same issue. So then around I have to buy like extra CTO to run Android Studio. Like the laptop was even bad in the first place. So the one challenge was that. Also like the other challenge is like internet was still challenging anyways, right? Even 2 years was like I don't know if you say it, but like you know you have to like wake up 1 a.m. to use a letter's password. I don't know if you know that, but it's like if you know, you know that password that one, and then the other people have the same password, and then at 1 a.m. that's when the session refreshes. So you have to quickly log in before someone else uses that password because only one person can use it at a time. So instead of buying the scratch card, like if Jones and your laptop goes off, or just I'm just connect immediately. So there was that. So it's like that was still an issue. But quickly, like, the was still like relatively okay, cheap. I remember like back in part 1, part 2, I started the YouTube channel. I was teaching, I think it's still up actually. Yeah, most of my I think it's just my name. It's just my name. Oluwaleke Fakorede. But I had like old videos, like I think like those are the major ones, right? And so like just being like obviously one challenge is like learning something new is difficult. I don't know what it's difficult, right? So over like whatever you're learning right now, just no, it's difficult. It's not gonna be difficult. It's gonna be difficult. But when I'm learning a new thing, my brain is like being introduced to a new thing. I don't even expect my brain to comprehend it instantly, right? It's not possible. That's why I take my time to learn things. Exactly. I know that I'll get it. So I just do that, but it's still difficult at the point of it because it's frustrating that you don't get something. So there's that as well.
When do you feel like your skill was enough to like start applying to big companies?
So in part 3, like Thursday, we tried to part 3. I was very good. And coming to part 4 as well, already like looking at Terragon, I was learning from people, doing engineers, looking at their code, learning a lot of things, right? So I'm like, okay, I'm getting good at this thing. And then more than any MBA. So for example, like at Terragon, we were working with MTN, Etisalat, SS Bank, First Bank. So and things we were writing, they were using, right? So I was like, okay, this is like I know what I'm doing at this point. Of course, I had a lot of things to be learned, right? But so I was very good at some point. So yeah, that just like I just started applying to a lot of companies, right? Applying to Google. Did a Google interview actually as a party. I did Google interview. I think it was for internship. Like, I wanted to get an internship, but I found so bad. But I never got one, right? I thought those big companies, I didn't get one. I think like also like I had job site. I was applying to jobs on jobs, remote jobs. Like, and at that point, like it was not really like money. There was no like money motivation. It was like just to be good and to be very very good and solve problems, real life problems. Like money wasn't like the thing that you were thinking about. Of course, you knew that okay, there's money in this thing, but it's not like overgrown right now that there's a tech bro. It's not like tech bro, tech sis or something that didn't exist at my time, right? So it's like. And even on Twitter, like a lot of noise. You know, I don't think I was on Twitter at that point. I was not even using Twitter exactly. So it was like I was like trying to do stuff. A lot of communities were there, follow a lot of hackathons happened, and then we like move together as a group and solve problems and win hackathons, win like 150K, use that to everybody for like months, things like that. So yeah, like just moving on to another time the story was like after like Terragon. So I got a role with the company in Denmark called Sports Compass. So I got that one in journalist actually. Did interview, everything was good. But so I worked there for like 8 months, writing like again. I started learning something new again because necessity again. Just I've been good Denmark. Like Denmark, if I can come to your country. Went for like 8 months. I didn't get paid. I was like unpaid, but I gained exposure. I was working with people in other countries, so I gained exposure. I had to work remotely, different time zones, communication, efficiency, whilst you're remote and things like that. So that was a very good experience. And yeah, so I think up to like 2019, there about mid 2019, I was working there, Dragon as well. So working at Dragon, I was doing that remotely and also being a student. I'm also working on other side projects as well. So it was like like an interesting time period for me, like learning a lot of stuff. I worked on other points. And yeah, so I left Terragon, I left Sport Compass, and I was like, like a sabbatical, like, and it was closing, my IT period was closing down. I was like a second semester, I had for even IT for like 6 months, 6, 7 months. So I was basically looking for a job at that period. I was like stressed out, stressed out looking for a job, looking for a job, like a lot of rejections, right? Until I saw like a job posting on consonants community, WhatsApp, for a job for like software engineering job, and I applied, right? And I was like, oh my god, I saw this or someone like the person I recommended, I referred him was Kevin Michiko Bompa. Because Kevin was also of interviews, but I didn't even know what company it was for. I didn't know who he was for. I just like just applied and did it, right? I was like, I didn't really realize, oh, it was a new startup that Binance was incubating. Binance, the crypto company. So the name was, so I met, that's where I met like Yele. So yeah, very awesome person, like very like, I don't know if you know Nextcoin. Nextcoin is a founder of Nextcoin right now, but was born before then. So we started building Bundle from the beginning. The founding team member of Bundle. So I was like, I was a mobile developer on Bundle, like a very good team. Very great team. So I learned a lot from there actually. I go Uduakobong, CTO of GoWagr at that point. Learned a lot from a lot of people, like met a lot of people that I still know to see there, like very good Shay, Kenny, Oluchi, Johnson, Duncan. Anyway, yeah. We worked together at GoWagr for like, so yeah, we built money from scratch, launched GoWagr, we did great. Everybody just closed down. Like, we started budget together, bit launch Bundle, bit in stealth, launched publicly, went like viral, went like a lot of people were using Bundle and things like that. Yeah, got a lot of people using Bundle. So at that point, that was my IT period. And then like when I got to Patch and the interesting thing was like, so you know my resume and give me the job. I was not taking a look at my resume again. I was still a student. And like, wait, I don't know you, I said because when I spoke to you and then I interviewed everything, like, you didn't know I was a student because of my experience already. Like, how am I still a student? I was like, okay, you have to finish fast. So I was like, bro, I'm trying to finish fast, but I still won't let me, and things like that. So, but yeah, so it was like, we were like, oh, it's a student. So it happened to me before, like, the time I got the remote job, the US company actually. At that same period of time, but like they don't consider the students. It was more than that, but anyways, like one of those reasons to go. But yeah, so I did a lot. Like I did.
So earlier you said that in part one you did not have like a social life. So when did you start social life in your journey?
This is social life right now.
You don't still have a social life. Okay, you don't still have a social life.
No. I'm joking. But so what I mean like social life is like doing the exercise. Like so for me I've always been like someone that's like very antisocial in a way that if I'm somewhere I interact with people normally, and I know that's in secondary school. Like I interact with people, like I'm very gentle and reserved, like you can say introvert, but I think I'm like an extroverted introvert. Like I'm just like chill by myself and never like that's why I was never bullied in secondary school. Even a lot of people were bullied, but I was not bullied in secondary school because I knew how to talk to people. Like even my seniors, I remember like when I was in JSS2, I used to go to like SS1, SS2, SS3 classes and just chill with them and sit down with them before like their breaks and before their lecture classes begin. I just sit down with them and just talk with them. And I didn't have any other sibling or anything. But I just like very like I knew how to yeah, maybe. Well, I knew how to navigate social like construct and things like that. So like I could like, for example, like in part one, I went to like OU door like shows like that. I was not going to the club or going to any random parties or things like that. So I was like still social. I could talk to people like I'm probably one of the people that like relates to everybody in my class or related to everybody in my class when I was a student. Like those are like different cliques of students. Like, I'm sure you have that in your class, like different cliques of everybody, like some people like this, some people like that. Or maybe these students are like separate students. But I was like the link, I was like talking to everybody, these students, normal students, commercial students, like I knew everybody's names.
The ones that
exactly. Like people that didn't tell, people that just like doing whatever, yeah, like people are playing ball or something like that. Like I was like very like I didn't know anybody or like it was just in this events like two above me and talk to everybody, make everybody with respect. Of course I don't be friends with everybody, right? But like So it's kind of social in a way, but when it comes to like maybe going out and then be like very very outgoing and things like that, I feel like maybe like I don't even know when. It's just like when the time came for it, when I could do it, then I could do it. Like even now, like if I should go out, I have to go out like things and.
So, someone asked a question. I just have like two more questions because of time. So, someone asked a question said, if everyone could learn programming, that's why is the salary not very high? Like it's something almost everybody can learn. Like even now, in this generation of tech, they'll tell you learn a tech skills, learn a tech. Like if everyone could do it, they can do it. Salary not very high.
But salaries are high, right? But like I think I was talking about it. I don't know if I was talking about it too, but talent. Talent is scarce. Yeah, I remember I was talking at an event on Sunday, right? Yeah, talent is scarce. Like everyone can learn and learn and learn and learn. Watch this video, watch this book, things. But like, you talent of people actually is doing something. That's one thing like it's scarce. Like people can learn and learn.
Do you think talent is something that is inbuilt? Like should I say inbuilt or they are born with or they also learn it?
You learn it too, right? You, of course, I think they are naturally like it's naturally like inclined to right. You know, so when it comes to like program, nobody was born with a mind to. But also it's something about creativity and also like even talent. Like the people will tell you that talent, and I believe also is like talent is not something that you are born with. It's something you are very early raised with. Like when you are raised like when like the mental stages of a child, like that's when like you develop some skills. Like, I can't play any musical instruments, but they born with a different. But probably not. But like maybe when they were like 2 years old, they were already like touching the keyboard.
Yeah,
Exactly. So it's like me when I was like maybe me, I was like people don't know like mathematics, but I love mathematics and physics. But I knew that when I was very small, I was watching cassettes of mathematics. My parents bought like CDs of mathematics, and I was my sister and I were watching this cassettes, learning those things. Of course, like the mathematics that I was learning as well. So obviously, I'll probably end up inclined to mathematics. So there's that as well. But when it comes to like creativity generally, like general creativity, you need creativity when you're working in tech for sure. If you want to be really good, creativity you have to be creative. Because it just sounds like you're writing code, you have to think and think and think. Most of it is even thinking than writing code. But there's people that can think and write things that's scarce. But people that actually write good things and they know how to like work with people. There's anything you can be good individually, like you don't have to work with people. They want to be anything meaningful, you have to work with people. Right? So like I don't even have to work with people. So like a scarcity of like very, very good people that are suited for work. Very scarce. And then also like why is it like a lot of money? So, like another reason was like there's money in the tech industry generally. A lot of venture capitalist money is pumping, right? So for example, if Netflix is paying people $20,000 per year, of course people want to go and work where they are being paid more. Then Amazon Prime will also raise their own salary as well. Right? If I can come as well. So the end of the day, it's like capitalism too, and then it's like there's money being pumped into the industry. So
what's your view on open source? Do you think it's like a compulsory step in tech? Like now people will tell you if you are do open source if you want to like be good, that open source is good, like it's like one of your advice. What is your own view? Do you think it's like a compulsory step that every tech pro or sys must
yeah, for sure. All those things are open source. You know, like they are probably not mentioning it, but of things. Also, the Silver Saver is open source. I beat the game 2048. This game that you have to add two numbers together to get four multiples of two, basically to get to 2048. That's box exactly.
You never beat it.
No, I beat a version. I beat the mobile version of it. Wow. So that's open source as well. Like I beat like some source. Some people see mail me and thank me for creating them. Or I write about open source things I created and people like highlights the Medium articles and like thank you for doing this. I was stuck for like 2 days. So it's like, and if you apply to opportunities as well, right? You people see that, right? And people see that and then they will see that okay, this one is good. And you can say you work on things and you work on this thing and they are like maybe proprietary things that you can't really show anybody. Right? If you're applying for a job, you can't show them, I work at this website or this company, and show them the code of the company. If you won't do that, right, you get sued. you probably pay like every month and you go to jail. So for all that way, can you show that you actually know what you're talking about an open source, because that obviously is licensed already to be open source. So what else is very, very important? Like you can show like the things, like most of the things I learn when I learn things in open source, like you can go to my GitHub right now, Lekky71, LEKKY71. Like you can really see my journey from my open source, like from like 2016, 2017, you can see like my first repo I created when I was learning Java, when I was learning Kotlin, when I was learning learning Android. You can see everything till now. Maybe I don't have much open source project right now, but I still have some like maybe I fought. You can see like when I contributed to like the programming language, like Yoruba programming language, like an extension of JavaScript that I think it was you over there that started working on it, but I contributed to it as well. So you can see like all those things, and people can, this person actually know what they're talking about. Like open source is like very important. Obviously, there's not a lot of money in open source. There's nothing that is discussed even till today. Like that, people don't, like companies that even use open source tools, they don't pay people that work on open source projects that much, right? But now it's not just for the payment, right? It's for like community of like showing your own work as well and showing your expertise. Yeah, for sure.
So, if someone that's coming up, if the person wants to learn or go into tech now, what would you advise the person to maybe learn first? Should he start with front end, back end, or maybe mobile? Or it's just.
I'll say like those kind of figure out like what you. Of course, it's hard if I get into like something like and there's a lot of noise. Everybody's saying this, do that, do that. I'll say like just start. Right? Just start with something. Start with something, and then you start saving out what you don't need. Let's start with something first, and like, okay, so start from them today. I did it for like a few months. I still don't understand anything. Maybe it's not my calling. Get help from everybody that can get it. Maybe just don't try to do it by yourself. Starting off, don't try to do it by yourself. Right? Learn, like, reach out to people that can. Not everybody has time to mentor you, but like, you can ask questions, they can answer you. You can give you a few contacts, explain something to you, things like that, or read, watch videos. And when you say, okay, I've done this thing, I don't understand, try another thing again. Maybe that next thing you try is what I can be for you. You want to try. Right? Then you're a beginner at something, right? And when you're a beginner, you don't give yourself expectations like, okay, I'll be the best ever. It's not like a few months, right? It takes time. Like it takes time to build something that's really good, right? So it's like don't rush. See out the outside noise. Try.
How can someone? Do you have like any tips? See out the outside noise. What is like tell a beginner?
Don't use Twitter. Don't use Twitter. Most of the messages come from Twitter. Don't use Twitter. Like,
don't use Twitter.
Like I deleted Twitter from my phone. It was like recently that I have Twitter on my phone. And even at that, like I'm just turned off. Right? Like it's better to have your own like in a way echo chamber in a way, like at least at some point. Like echo chamber, you're learning from each other, right? So there's no really an echo chamber because everybody's bringing something different but it's better to have people in your like people like being a group, a WhatsApp group that's contained, like say you're working with like 15 to 20 friends or something, like maximum of 20 people. They are sharing knowledge together, working together on things, right? I just speak with experts, try to speak with people directly. Don't just try to do it politics. Because realize that it's a new boom market in this tech group called developer advocate. They're trying to get people to use their things. So we always talk about like their tech, the company's tech like is the next best thing.
Yeah.
Right? Instead of saying, if you're arguing, oh, Ruby on Rails is good, you start Ruby on Rails, use Ruby on Rails for projects, use this, use that, don't use GraphQL, oh, do this, do that. What do they like? Everybody's trying to sell their market too. Because they are invested into, like people are invested, we sell are invested in tech companies too, and they want to sell. Like dev tools or frameworks and things like that. People they want to sell as well. Or it's a Windows framework like
everything's just like business.
The other things is business, right? The other things are just purely business. So just see it as that and like just ignore it and as Jack we group they're learning we are bringing stuff to each other and learning from each other.
I want to talk about your latest startup. GoWagr. Like if you can tell us how you started and why and what it is. Like many people don't really know about it.
Yeah, for sure. Basically like a social betting platform, right? So say for example now, the question you had asked me again about like the truth is I one lie, right? So let's say you want to get to somebody now, say okay, which one is the truth? Which is the lie? For example, like your own startup is the truth, right? So it's between like Mark Zuckerberg and the Lamborghini thing. So which one you can say okay is the Lamborghini thing, and your friend says oh no it's the Mark Zuckerberg thing. Then okay, put your money there, no bets.
So at the end of the video, we're not like no deal.
And then you get your money. So if it was the Mark Zuckerberg thing, you get your money. If it was the Lamborghini, your friend gets the money. So all GoWagr is basically like an escrow for like if you want to bet against each other for anything. You're playing the game, right? FIFA or something. Okay, amigo, I will say maybe your party like not just for anything. You have been watching a movie with somebody and say, okay, what will happen next? Nobody has seen that movie, but what will happen next? Like who is actually the villain in that story or something like that. That's one thing GoWagr is for. So right now a lot of gamers use it, so it's obviously for gaming, right? A lot of like people that watch sports use it to bet about outcome of sports, right? Pool money together. Let's say 10 people want to join a contest, right? Before they will give somebody the money. That person can run away with the money. Whenever it's supposed to be like you give somebody the money to hold it for you. Let's say 10 people give 500 naira each. That's 5,000 naira. Somebody holds the money, and then at the end of the week somebody wins. But the winner will get 50k. Maybe the first person will get 30k, second person will get 20k. But most people that owe that money just run away with the money and scam them.
50k.
But GoWagr we owe the money for you, right? And when we take 5% fee, like very low compared to like people that take like 20% or 15% or 25%. That's what GoWagr does essentially. So
It solves trust issues.
Trust, basically like we don't like.
On the app, do you like give people ideas of what to vote, like on what to bet on? Like if they go to the app now, they'll be like, okay, you can bet on this thing, or we bring our own.
Yeah, you can bring your own. You don't because it's a very tricky thing. Like you don't because it's also ethical and also like very tricky. You need to get license.
Like maybe that Tinubu and something now. When I come to the app, you'll be like, do you think Tinubu will?
No, we don't do that as well because it's also very tricky. Like you don't give people things, you don't suggest to people.
Okay.
But what we have on the app is like you can create a wager, right, and then put it on the market. If you come to the app, open the app, you can actually see like we just people have created that we not able to join. So let's say exactly. So let's say okay, I'm saying Nigeria enter recession in the next quarter, right? Then you create it, then you say, okay, I'm for Nigeria recession. Somebody else says that Nigeria recession, they can join that with put add their own money, and then that wager is active, and then we check at the end of the day. There's like GoWagr does right now, and right now we just launched a referral program today actually. So if you refer somebody that uses GoWagr and the person deposits $5 and they deposit naira on GoWagr, but convert it to naira because I have one of the other things people actually use GoWagr for too, is like to hedge against the volatility of naira. So like when people have been like using GoWagr since like April since the launch and they have money on GoWagr, imagine what naira was in April.
This is the final question I have. So when you're in your finals, how did you combine? Final year has a lot of projects to do, and then you're also still doing your tech. How did you combine both of them together?
Yeah, good question. So for my final year, I was still working on Binance at that point, 2021.
So from IT, they retained you too?
Yeah. I mean, it was not like I did IT there. I was working full time. I was not employed as an intern.
Oh, okay, but you started during your IT?
Yeah, I started during my IT period. Because that's when Bonnie started too. It was December 2019. How I combined it was like, final year was very important. Because I was looking at my CGPA, I was like, I have to stay in 2-1. I was very close to not being 2-1, right? I was like, nah, I have to stay in 2-1. Very serious in school. Like, I was very serious in school. But again, I really knew how to combine everything, like, from those years. So it was not really, like, difficult to do. But so it's like, the rest is hard, but what you need to do is not, you know what you need to do. So, like, I was going to class. I did not miss, like, a lot of classes online. And also, I did at the car. So I could be meeting a person in the class. I could go out of the class and go and take a meeting in the car. So I was like, it was like very interesting. What was it called? During exam period too. Like during exam period, I do not work too. Like even I was born to, they understand that they knew I was not identified as a student, right? So they knew I was there. And like my CTO was like very understanding because I also finished from where finish up school and then they can focus on things, right? So there was that, right? I was able to do that. I think during my final year too, that was when like I left during like I think that was my final year. So the work was dialed down a bit, so I was doing a lot of work. At the 12th of my final year, I was at the end of my final year, like during the close to the exam period. So there was that too. But yeah, project of writing project. But again, my supervisor was very good too, was very kind too. So I also like just do my projects in like something I was interested in, just blockchain.
Blockchain.
Exactly. So my project was basically like how you convert certificates as NFTs.
What certificate?
University certificates.
University
Your certificates, like certificate you get from your BSc or MSc or PhD or whatever. So you can make it on the blockchain, which is like nobody can like it can easily verifiable, right? So nobody can forge certificates. Like it's really a proof of authenticity and proof of ownership that this person actually owns this thing. So nobody in the world can now say create a fake certificate idea for that, right? It was like one of the very practical uses of the blockchain. Right. So yeah, it was not too difficult to do. Just like again, just the same format, like test and example, facial book, and like for example, the cram report. Because I mean, cram is added for the most part. So just into cram, like I was cramming like a day before the exam. Yeah, a day for the exam
I think
cram.
maybe it's something that you can do and it
Yeah,
works for you.
not everybody can do that.
Not everybody
Yeah,
can
for
do
sure.
that.
Not everybody can do that. Like, of course, like, let's favorite crank on things, but also like the day before. Well, a lot of people do it still, but not everybody can probably do it and like be able to like focus and still remember during exam period.
I think the last two that is remaining is like very tricky. I don't know which one is even me. I don't even know which one is correct. If you met Mark or you
Okay.
Ruby.
Interesting. Which one do you think it is?
I think
Very
I want to say I want to say you've seen Mark, but then there's still a possibility that you've proven a angle before. So I've seen Mark.
It's the line. Is it true?
So if I was on the app now, I would have lost money.
Exactly. The problem that wasting your money.
Thank you so much.
No,
Thank you
thank you for having me.
I appreciate and we've learned a lot from you. Thank you.
Thank you for having me on the Uncle as well. Like, really good to share my experience with you and with everyone watching. I mean, it's like a very long story compressed down into like a small 1 hour plus episode. But like, yeah, happy to like share my story like anytime because I hope it inspires someone to be great as well.
Bye guys.
Very much.